All right, everyone, get ready because today we're diving straight into the wild, colorful world of slang. I'm Gabby, your host, and this episode of Hacking the Language Matrix is going to break down why slang is way more than just cool talk. It's the cultural glue that holds so much meaning and gives us an insider's pass to understanding people, connecting deeply, and sounding less like a textbook. Here's the scoop. If you've ever felt like you're missing that click with the language you're learning or that something just feels off, well, it's probably because you're not using or hearing enough slang. Slang is what takes language beyond the formal rules, beyond what we're taught in classrooms, and gives us the unfiltered version of a culture. Learning it means tapping into what people really think and talk about when no one's looking. And yes, it's a game changer. Slang comes from the everyday interactions within specific social groups or communities. It develops naturally as people create informal words and phrases to describe their unique experiences, attitudes, and ways of seeing the world. This language is often shaped by trends, local culture, and even economic or social challenges. Over time, these groups add new terms or give existing words different meanings, leading to slang that becomes a kind of shortcut for expressing shared ideas and emotions. Youth culture, for example, is a big driver of slang. Younger people often create words to set themselves apart from older generations, expressing their identity or frustrations in a way that feels current and fresh. Subcultures like musicians, sports fans, or internet communities also create slang that reflects their shared interests and values. Slang evolves quickly because these communities are constantly adopting new terms and dropping old ones. Finally, slang is influenced by the languages around it. For example, slang in the United States includes words borrowed from African American vernacular English, Spanish, and internet culture, among others. These influences give slang variety, meaning that slang in one community can be different from slang in another, even within the same language. Hey there! If you're new here, welcome to Hacking the Language Matrix. I'm Gabby, a professional translator, interpreter, and a lifelong language nerd who happens to be a polyglot. This channel is perfect for two kinds of people: those obsessed with learning new languages and those fascinated by the intersection of languages and societies. Here, you'll get tons of tips and hacks for mastering foreign languages, but we'll also dive into juicy topics like how languages connect to ethnicity, identity, and culture. We'll explore everything from multilingualism and dialects to pidgins and creoles. Yes, the good stuff. Plus, I'll share my personal stories from traveling the globe where I've spoken or hilariously failed to speak local languages with native speakers. We'll tackle hot button issues like immigration, starting fresh in a new country, and navigating the challenges of acculturation, assimilation, and integration. So, stick around. This is where language meets life in the most exciting way. I speak Spanish, Catalan, which is, for those who do not know, one of the official languages of Catalonia. I also speak English, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Russian. So, hit the subscribe button and keep on learning. Okay, so let's go back to the topic of the day, slang. Slang is a window into society and culture. Slang goes way beyond just casual language. It's essentially the heartbeat of any language, full of the cultural values, socioeconomic realities, and shared experiences that define a community. Learning slang lets you dive into how people connect, what they value, and even what they push back against. It's often rebellious, constantly shifting, and speaks volumes about the group identity of its users. In many communities, slang is a way of challenging norms, especially among younger generations who use it to establish their own identity apart from mainstream culture. And across regions, you'll find that local slang reflects a specific cultural pride and unique social dynamics. For language learners, mastering slang is like getting a fast pass to understanding a society's deeper values. Slang becomes a way to access what isn't said formally, a hidden code that, once cracked, brings you closer to the people and culture behind the words. Now, tips for learning and using slang. Ready to dive into the world of slang? Here are some straightforward tips for you to get started. Start by listening to how native speakers use slang. Watch local shows, follow social media channels, and listen to music from that culture. Notice which words keep popping up and observe how they shift in tone depending on the context or who's speaking. This can reveal hidden meanings behind certain terms. Slang is best learned by chatting with native speakers, so when the opportunity arises, dive in. Don't hesitate to ask what a slang word means or if you're using it right. People are usually eager to share their favorite slang terms. Use social media, regional news, and local podcasts to soak up new slang. Follow influencers, check out local radio shows, or join informal online forums. This keeps you updated on slang unique to specific regions or social groups. Slang can be tricky since it's not always direct and often relies on context or mood. Practice using slang in comfortable, informal environments. Friends who won't judge you for any slip ups are perfect for this. Real world practice is the key to gaining confidence and getting a feel for how and when to use it. The development of slang arises from clashes in values, which can be either surface level or deeply rooted. When someone uses language in an innovative way to express emotions like hostility, ridicule, or disdain, often with sharp wit, they may be creating a slang term. However, for this new expression to persist, it must be adopted by others. If the speaker belongs to a group that identifies with the term as reflecting their collective feelings about a specific idea, a person, or social norm, the term's usage will spread according to the group's shared attitudes. Typically, a new slang word gains traction within a subculture before being integrated into mainstream language. Slang terms such as sucker, hunky, shave tail, or jerk often convey a group's perspective, whether critical or neutral, about the values of another group or class. At times, slang originates within a group and humorously critiques its own behaviors, attitudes, or values, as seen in terms like shotgun wedding, cake eater, or greasy spoon. The creation of slang is therefore shaped primarily by social dynamics rather than the efforts of a single individual. In society, cultures are often divided into dominant culture and various subcultures that thrive within its framework. These subcultures exhibit unique linguistic characteristics, which can differ greatly depending on the group's nature and their relationship to one another and to the dominant culture. The surprising or provocative nature of slang frequently arises from the transfer of subcultural values into the dominant culture, often in opposition to mainstream norms. For example, terms like fuzz, pig, think, bull, and dick, as slang for police officers, were not invented by law enforcement personnel. On the other hand, the humorous term dickless Tracy, referring to a policewoman, was coined by male officers. Occupational groups, while generally aligned with the dominant culture, maintain their own linguistic identities due to subtle social and linguistic tensions, which reinforce their group solidarity. Words such as scab, strikebreaker, company man, and goon were particularly impactful during the early days of labor organization in the United States and still carry significant weight today, even as they have entered standard language. Beyond occupational groups, numerous other subcultures contribute to the development of slang. These include communities such as narcotics users, sexual minorities, institutional populations, agricultural groups, political organizations, ghetto communities, sports enthusiasts, and members of the armed forces. Among the most prolific sources of slang are professional criminal subcultures, which have been influencing language in the New World since the 16th century. All-time thieves, for example, humorously refer to themselves as FFV, First Families of Virginia. In these criminal subcultures, the pressures exerted by the dominant culture amplify internal dynamics, fostering the creation of specialized language that reflects the values, attitudes, and methods of the group. These subcultures, under slang, continue to grow and adapt under the influence of both internal cohesion and external societal pressures. The linguistic processes that give rise to slang are the same mechanisms that drive changes in the forms and meanings of all words in a language. These include the use of metaphor, folk, etymology, sound distortion, generalization, clipping, acronyms, and shifts in meaning through elevation or degeneration. Other processes include hyperbole, borrowing from foreign languages, and the interplay of euphemisms and taboo. One example of these processes is the evolution of the word trip. Initially, it became specialized to describe a psychedelic experience associated with the drug LSD. Its meaning expanded to encompass any experience involving drugs, and later broadened further to include an intense or exciting experience. Clipping is illustrated by the slang term grass, derived from laughing grass, a reference to marijuana. Shifts in connotation also play a role. For instance, the term funky, originally a derogatory reference to body odor, has undergone elevation in jazz culture, where it is now used to signify something of high quality or excellence. On the other hand, funny, which began as a simple girl's name, has deranged to refer to the buttocks in general usage and has become a taboo term for female genitalia in British English. So here's a rundown of some of the rawest and most provocative American slang. So there's no holding back. These words and phrases are deeply tied to American subcultures, humor, and sometimes plain vulgarity. So use at your own risk. Okay, number one, the F-bomb central. Fuckboy, meaning a derogatory term for a man who is shallow and primarily interested in using others, often for sex. Example, don't waste your time with that fuckboy. He's just playing games. Okay, motherfucker, meaning a versatile and empathetic insult, often used to describe someone particularly offensive or as a term of camaraderie. Example, the motherfucker cut me off the freeway. Number two, explicit sexual slang. DTF, down to fuck, meaning describes someone willing and eager to engage in casual sex. Example, she just slid into my DMs and asked me if I was DTF. Okay, busting, meaning a slang term for male orgasm. Example, man, that hookup was so wild, I was busting in minutes. Coochie, meaning slang for vagina, often used playfully. Example, he couldn't stop talking about how much he loves Gucci. Okay, hardcore insults. Dickhead, meaning someone who is obnoxious or annoying. Example, stop acting like such a dickhead and listen to me for once. Cocksucker, meaning a harsh insult implying submissiveness or contempt. Example, that cocksucker ratted us out to the boss. Number four, party and drug culture. Blow, meaning slang for cocaine. Example, he disappeared to the bathroom for some blow before hitting the dance floor. Booty bump, meaning a method or drug intake through the rectum. Example, meth or cocaine. Now, he's wild enough to suggest doing a booty bump at the club. Number five, wild descriptions. Shit-faced, meaning extremely drunk. Example, we got so shit-faced at the bar, I don't even remember getting home. Pissed off, meaning very angry. Example, she was pissed off when he forgot their anniversary. Balls deep, meaning fully immersed in an activity, often sexual, but can also be metaphorical. Example, we were balls deep into that project before realizing we had the wrong deadline. Anatomy and slang. Meat stick, meaning a crude term for penis. Example, he's always bragging about his meat stick, but nobody cares. Tits up, meaning something that has failed or gone terribly wrong. Example, the whole plan went tits up when the cops showed up. Number seven, raw playful terms. Eat me, meaning a dismissive phrase such as screw you. Example, if you don't like it, you can eat me. Clap cheeks, meaning to have sex, often in a rough or enthusiastic manner. Example, he's been trying to clap cheeks since they started texting. Number eight, relationship shenanigans. Coughing season, meaning the time of year, fall or winter, when people seek relationships to avoid loneliness. Example, I hate being single during coughing season. Side piece, meaning a person someone is romantically or sexually involved with one on the side, in addition to the primary relationship. Example, he's got a wife, but everybody knows he's keeping a side piece. Number nine, dirty and proud. Thirst trap, meaning a provocative photo or post intended to attract attention and admiration. Example, that bikini pic she posted was such a thirst trap. Raw dogging, meaning engaging in sex without a condom. Example, he better not be out here raw dogging strangers. All right. Brace yourself for some downright filthy British slang. Now, bollocks, number one, meaning literally testicles, but used to mean nonsense, or as an exclamation, can also mean fantastic in the phrase, the dog's bollocks. Example number one, nonsense. What a load of bollocks that story was. Example number two, awesome. This new car is the dog's bollocks, mate. Number two, wanker, meaning a deeply insulting term for someone seen as pathetic or annoying, literally meaning someone who masturbates. Example, stop cutting in line, you absolute wanker. Number three, tosser, meaning another term for someone who's annoying or useless, similar to wanka, derives from the act of masturbation. Example, don't listen to him, he's a total tosser. Number four, funny, meaning in Britain, this doesn't mean you're bum. It's a slang for female genitalia, often used in a playful or derogatory way. Example, don't be such a funny, it's just a bit of rain. So it's like the example we'd seen before. Number five, slag, meaning a derogatory term for someone, usually a woman, who is promiscuous. Example, she's such a slag, always snogging blokes at the pub. There you go. Number six, knobhead, meaning an insult implying someone is stupid or annoying, refers to the head of a penis. Example, you parked in my spot, you knobhead. Number seven, sod off, a polite way of telling someone to fuck off. Sod refers to sodomy. Example, if you don't like it, you can sod off. Number eight, bugger, used to express annoyance, but it also refers to anal sex. Example one, annoyance. Bugger, I've lost my keys again. Example two, insult. You cheeky little bugger, nicking my chips. Okay, number nine, minge, meaning vulgar slang for female genitalia, also used to describe someone who's unpleasant or stingy. Example, I'm not going near that. It smells like a minge in here. Number 10, bellend, meaning refers to the head of a penis, used to insult someone as an idiot. Example, that bloke who cut me off is a proper bellend. Number 11, shag, meaning to have sex, often used casually, but can also be dirty in context. Example, did you hear they had a cheeky shag in the loo? Number 12, taking the piss, meaning mocking someone or not being serious. Example, you're taking the piss if you think I'm doing your work for you. Number 13, arse over teat, meaning to fall over clumsily. Example, I went arse over teat on the ice this morning. Number 14, twat, meaning insult someone idiot or fool, but also slang for female genitalia. Example, stop acting like a twat and sort yourself out. Number 15, gobshite, meaning someone who talks too much, often spouting nonsense. Example, ignore him, he's such a gobshite trying to get attention. Number 18, nuff off, meaning a softer version of fuck off, though still impolite. Example, nuff off, I'm not in the mood for your nonsense. Scrubber, number 17, meaning a derogatory term for a woman considered unkempt or promiscuous. Example, she's such a scrubber, always staggering out of the pub. Number 18, Berk, meaning insult, meaning idiot or fool, derived from Cockney rhyming slang Berkshire Hunt. You can guess what rhymes with hunt, okay? Example, you Berk, you've put the milk in before the tea. Number 19, nutter, meaning it refers to someone who's mentally imbalanced or just plain wild. Example, he's a total nutter, running around naked in the rain. All right, so let's dive into the raw, unfiltered word of South African slang, wild, dirty, and packed with personality. Now, this country is a melting pot of languages and cultures, which means that slang is a diverse and expressive gem. So here are some of the dirtiest and craziest South African slang terms. So let's go for it. One, Joe Massa, meaning a classic insult that translates to your mother's, and usually ends with something vulgar like Joe Massapoos, your mother's cunt. It's highly offensive and means to enrage. Example, Joe Massapoos, don't cut me off, you chop. Note, this one, you gotta use it with extreme caution because it's fighting words right there. Number two, poos, meaning a highly offensive word for female genitalia, often used as an insult for someone being an idiot or an asshole. Example, that guy is such a puss for not paying his bill. Extra, it's one of the most versatile insults in Afrikaans, so you can use it pretty much in every context. Nai, meaning directly translates to fucking in Afrikaans, right? Can mean sex or be used to insult someone, similar to screw you. Example one, sex. Did you nai that chick last night? Example two, insult. Nai off, man. I'm not in the mood. Number five, more, meaning a rough word, meaning to hit someone or to insult them. Can also express anger. Example one, hit. I'm going to more you if you don't shut up. Example two, anger. That oak made me so more pissed off. Okay. Number six, bliksem, meaning lightning in Afrikaans, but it used to describe someone who's about to get hit or punished. It can also mean bastard. Example one, anger. You better leave before I bliksem you. Number two, insult. That bliksem stole my wallet. Number seven, schelm, meaning a shady or untrustworthy person, often someone sneaky or criminal. Example, watch out for that schelm at the bar. He's up to no good. Number eight, puppy, meaning a derogatory term for a pretty but ditzy girl, often used for women who act overly posh or materialistic. Example, that puppy's been taking selfies all night. Number nine, Zol, meaning slang for marijuana. Example, let's roll a Zol and chill tonight. Number 11, pump, meaning crude slang for sex similar to bang or shag. Example, I heard they were pumping in the car last night. Number 12, chop, meaning a fool or idiot, often used to insult someone in a playful or serious way. Example, that guy's such a chop for parking in two spaces. Number 13, hatful, meaning fed up or had enough, can describe someone who's completely over a situation. Example, I'm hatful of your excuses, just do the job. Number 14, Beth, meaning a crude term for oral sex. Example, that chick gave him a quick Beth in the parking lot. Note, definitely want to avoid around your granny. All right, 17, dop and chop, meaning refers to a casual braai. But dop, drink, and chop, meat, can take on cheeky double meanings in certain contexts. Example, bring your dop and chop, we're braaiing tonight. Number 18, tsek, meaning a sharp way of saying get lost or fuck off. Example, tsek, you're not welcome here. Number 19, hexy, meaning a derogatory term for a crazy or nasty woman, literally meaning witch. Example, that hex is always gossiping about someone. And then number 20, snot clap, meaning a slap so hard it makes your nose run, often used to describe disciplining someone. Example, if you don't stop mouthing off, you're getting a snot clap. And that's it for today. Please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below. And what are some nasty slang terms you want to add? Let me know. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.